life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.
Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here on the Game Day show for Sunday. Week, what's it, 17? 16? What are we on?
Week 17.
Week 17? Man.
Week 17.
The season has come and gone. Guys, my name is Tanner Dawson of the Whiskey Sports Podcast and Sports Buffoons. I am joined by Nick Botkins of The Botkins Show and the #1 Green Bay Packers fan.
We're back, baby. We're back.
There we go. Oh, man. Hey, it's a big game today. Some big slates, some big playoff pushes coming into play today. So we'll get down to that here with our lineup today. We're going to have Scott, Illy, Jed, and Bo. Texans. We'll have Dan. Talk some, hopefully some Broncos there. Bobby and Rob Logan to wrap up the show today. So it's going to be a great show here. Johnny will join us shortly, soon as he finds his computer chair. So we'll get him in. So let's go ahead and kick it off here with our big lineup today. Let's start it out with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Nick, what did you do to Johnny last week? Jeez.
Hey, Christmas miracles happen, Scott. Christmas miracles happen.
Aaron Rodgers lives. Aaron Rodgers lives. I can't believe it. But
hey, I have let the ex-girlfriend move right back indoors. You know, we're cuddling, canoodling. It was a great New Year's Eve last night. Playoffs, I can see it, baby. All we got to do is beat Minnesota and have the Commanders lose, and then we got to beat Detroit next week. All possible.
All things possible.
Tana's very quiet right now. So.
I'm in the playoffs regardless. I just need the Bengals to win today. So, all right, let's bring him in. The guy that Nick's team stole his heart, Johnny Cruz. What's up, dude?
What's up, gentlemen? Sorry about being a little late there.
I ain't seen Johnny all week. Ain't messaged, as I answer my phone calls, my texts. I asked him how his Christmas was. His New Year's just been running, ducking, and hiding, as my Packers were, the Christmas miracle that was last week. And now.
Nick, you want to know the truth? Johnny's got a doll, and he's sticking pins in Aaron Rodgers' doll.
Nah, I've been telling you for weeks now, man, that I thought you guys still had a little hope there. I didn't expect you guys to beat us on Christmas and kind of spoil the rest of the evening for us. I mean, I still obviously had a great day with the fam and stuff, but it makes complete sense that that Tua was concussed because that second half was horrific, but it was a good game. Aaron Rodgers did what he had to do, and like I said, you still got some hope there, man, to sneak into the playoffs. We fortunately everything except for winning has fallen in our favor, so we somehow still are in the 7th spot. And honestly, even if we lose this week, if some things go right, we still have an opportunity next week. But hopefully we handle our business. But it's been a crazy year. It's been a crazy week. But no, I'm here again. Like I said, my apologies for being a little late there. Just
one thing before we get going. Before the season, I bet the Dolphins over 8.5 wins. When they were 8-3, I was looking really good. Now I'm betting it, so I'm hoping.
Now it's Teddy Two Gloves the rest of the way.
Gloves,
yeah. So Scott, does Teddy at the Dolphins position affect any Tyreek status? Status as a starter? Does it affect Waddle or what?
Teddy's 2 starts this year. Tyreek had 140 and 160 yards receiving. So it doesn't affect.
I'd say that's playable.
Yep, I'd say that's playable too, especially in championship. Waddle more so than Tyreek, I think. Waddle has not stepped up or has not gotten the target share that he got with Tua. So I think you got to be a little shaky in Waddle. If you have like a Romeo Doubs or a Drake London, you might want to play him over Waddle today because I'm not sure Waddle's going to get the target share to help you win your championship. So
isn't New England's team like a lot of them? You have a lot of people out for New England.
Yeah, they just put a defensive back on the IR yesterday. So Jack Jones, who's been performing
the
very
rookie
well for them. Yep. He's top 10 in PFF defensive DVOA grade. So that's a big hit for them. So
does this maybe increase the running game for the Dolphins? And obviously Teddy's in, but maybe they run the ball a little more.
I think what Belichick's going to do today is try to take away the running game and see if Teddy can beat him, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I just think that I don't think he fears Teddy, which may be a mistake, maybe not. I think he's just going to play Tyreek straight up with a safety over the top and try to bracket him that way. I think he's going to let Waddle play one-on-one against his DB.
Does anybody fear Teddy Two Gloves? I never heard somebody said, "Oh my gosh, it's Teddy Two Gloves in the game. We got to watch out."
No, but I will say this. He's probably one of the top 3 backups in the NFL. Him, Minshew, and, you can name
Brock Purdy, baby.
Brock Purdy. Well, he wasn't backup. He was 3rd string. So, but, Bridgewater is a serviceable backup. They drop a little bit, but they don't drop precipitously off of Tua, I don't believe. So as long as you get the ball in Tyreek's hands and waddle some, I think you're going to be fine.
I was just going to say, I don't think Teddy had the same type of weapons anywhere else like he has here in Miami. I'm obviously nervous about this game. You never know with these Dolphins 4 in a row. We've had good running games, and then Mike McDaniel decides he doesn't want to run the ball anymore. So hopefully he sticks to whatever game plan he came up for with Teddy. It's probably going to be, me and Scott talked about, it's probably going to be a short passing game type of thing like that. Maybe try to establish a run and every once in a while take a deep shot. But that's a big loss for the Patriots, that corner. I mean, talk about a rookie class of corners this year between him, Sauce, the young man over in Seattle. There's a lot of good young corners in this league. So that's a big out for the Patriots for him to be gone there. So I would not sit Waddle if you have him in your league today and you're trying to win a title. Just Teddy tends to spread it out a little more though than Tua does. Tua goes.
What I'm basically saying with Waddle is lower expectations a little bit. Don't think he's going to get 130, 140 yards today.
Right.
Lower it down to like 50 to 60 with about 4 or 5 catches. So, when you look at it as a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 Waddles, you probably don't have anybody better than Waddle. So, you can start with bad. But and the running game wise with Miami, I don't believe and I don't remember if there's been a running back that has really gone off against the Patriots other than Justin Fields, who's a quarterback. So they haven't given up many touchdowns on the ground. They haven't given up much in the way of yardage. So they could just play it straight up against Miami and be fine with that. So
I got a fantasy question.
An ugly game, man.
I got a fantasy question. I'm kind of stuck on here. Okay. Championship game. I'm between Judy, who was limited because he went out and practiced earlier this week, but he kind of came back. It sounds like he's all right. And then there's Garrett Wilson. Mike White's back. And this time, I'm actually stuck between these two guys.
I love both options today, but I would probably go with Garrett Wilson up in Seattle. I think
that's
Mike
kind of
White
what I'm leaning to.
Yeah,
I did Judy last week. Obviously worked out. And then I was thinking with Mike White back, maybe we go Garrett Wilson this week. So
the things I'll say about Judy is he stood up for Russell Wilson this week and on Twitter, backed him. And the coach called him out in a press conference saying that he's been performing well on and off the field. So I wonder if Russ is going to look his way a little bit more today.
How much more can he look though?
I know that
Judy's this main target here. Like
absolutely.
You look at him double covered and still throw it there, and it'll be picked off just like saw on Christmas Day, baby.
Hey, I'll take
it. He had 3 touchdowns against Kansas City last time they played, so up in Denver. So
I know. That's my worry is I know what this defense is. So I don't know. I'll probably coin flip it and see what happens in the end. Kind of.
But I think Garrett Wilson has a big day.
I think Garrett Wilson is going to have a day against Seattle, man.
Yeah. They go to Seattle and win.
I'm leaning on that too. I mean, we'll be talking Seattle here shortly with Bo. But yeah, it's man, It's such a tough one. Championship game too.
It's so easy for guys like me that didn't even make the playoffs. I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, Johnny. I mean, come on now.
You guys,
I'm in so many championships today. It's crazy. I'm just in a lot of them.
So let's talk one team here that made a change, and that has a guy that struggled since then. We got Raiders coming into play, but Davante Adams scoring a measly, what was it, 3 points last week? 4 points for me.
Yeah, 3 points.
And obviously the target share has gone from 35, just over 35, to down to like 20, was it 26, 25? Yeah. Like, do we expect anything here with Stidham at quarterback now?
No, he's been wide receiver 59 the last 6 weeks.
Yeah,
in fantasy.
Ever since Waller and Renfro returned,
yeah,
it's been literally a slope
drop. And the last 2 weeks, even with Derek Carr, have been awful, just awful. So I had a decision to make between him and Drake London. I put Drake London in my lineup. I just don't. I'm very, very worried about this Jarrett Stidham thing. And McDaniel said in his press conference he's going to pull back some of the veterans in today's game and next week. What does that mean for Davante, who's not happy as it is with Derek Carr being benched and sent away from the Raiders?
That's so true.
Yeah, so being wide receiver 59 the last 6 weeks, and I played him up until last week. That just scares me a lot.
I feel like if you're in the championship, you got those guys. Stephon Diggs is in the same boat right now, where he scored. He hasn't done jack either.
Yeah,
and I got him. I feel like you got to play him. There's just too much upside for a guy like Davante. If he can get a couple targets this way, a couple lawn balls. I mean, that could be 10, 15 points right there.
I heard on Sirius XM radio last night. Some gentleman said on there last night, and I'm starting to believe it more and more I thought about it. This year could be the year of the Tyler Algiers winning your leagues, the Cam Akers winning your leagues.
That's so true.
The Deontay Foreman's Deontay Foreman's
so inconsistent though.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the Davante Adams. It's not going to be the Stephon Diggs. It's not going to be the Justin Herberts, who's been awful the last 2 or 3 weeks too. So,
right.
Michael Pittman's another guy you've ridden to the championship game. Nick Foles is a quarterback. He did nothing with him last week.
Zero. Don't tell my buddy Mike about that. Alan here, guys. Alan, always appreciate you commenting in. He goes, Raiders expected to explore trade offers for Derek Carr. Look, they got it.
Yeah, Derek Carr's done as a Raider. And the more important question is, what do they do with Davante Adams? Because Davante, if you read the tea leaves, gave everybody the middle finger, said, go F yourselves. I'm here because of this guy, and now you're shipping my guy out. Well, come on back, baby. We'll take you back. We'll give up the first 2 picks again. Come on home, Davante. And then, Hackett got fired. He's going to come back home. Hey, Kuda Matata here in Green Bay next year, baby. I feel it. Because what are they going to do with
championship loss coming into play?
I'll ask you this question. I think Johnny and me talked about it the other night before the show or on the show. There's a hot rumor that Tom Brady's headed to Las Vegas next year.
That's what I'd predict.
I heard that. Yeah. I've heard that. I think Tom Brady's. It's over. Tom Brady. I am now come to the realization of 2023. It's old Tom, not old Tom, good old Tom. It's old Tom Brady. I mean, Father Time is undefeated, folks. Don't just read the name on the jersey and let your brain fool you. Trust with your eyes and not hear and hear.
I agree to that. I agree with that. But Tanner and Johnny can chime in too. I think the reason why Tom Brady has looked like he has is because his offensive line has been junk, complete junk.
Absolutely. You got
that's true.
Junk offensive line, right? You got big names, but not real talent, and really
Mike Evans is still a top.
Mike Evans is your only big guy.
Banner.
I'm talking about Julio
Chris Godwin
Jones,
is still
a Gage.
Julio. I'm tired of people talking about Julio Jones. Julio Jones hasn't done anything since he toe tapped in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that was the last time we ever seen Julio Jones.
They need to get rid of those Falcons players, the old Falcons players, Gage and Jones. Gage is just an injured bum who can't seem to do anything. Jones is over here God, I don't even know what he does anymore.
Collecting checks.
So outside of that, like if you
Yeah.
stick with Godwin and Evans, but you can't because you don't have time to get it to those guys.
Right. That's
Right?
the fear.
Like
You
you
know,
see it
you
all
know
the
who's
time.
throwing passes next year? Derek Carr. I think he's
I don't think so.
Hey,
You don't think
Scott, it was last night's show that somebody mentioned his contract. Was it you that mentioned
I
Derek Carr's
mentioned his contract.
This is crazy, guys. Listen to this that's in the contract.
Well, I mentioned at the end. I don't know who mentioned it before, but if he is there 3 days after the new league year starts, he gets $40 million guaranteed.
Who does?
Derek
Carr.
Derek Carr.
If he
But
is,
they can't trade him.
if they trade him, I'm not sure what the cap hit was, but it was exorbitant.
Right.
If they release him, the dead cap hit is only $5.6 million.
They're going to cut him.
Yeah,
He's
gonna have his pick. He's
Gonna
gonna
cut him.
have his pick to go wherever he wants.
They'll cut him next week on Tuesday after the season ends. Derek Carr, you'll see a bottom of the line mixing with a bunch of the coaches getting fired. Derek Carr cut by the Raiders.
It's going to happen. They have no want for him. That's why I think they're going to work on the offensive line this offseason, and they're going to pursue Tom Brady like crazy.
Let me ask you guys this.
Stop it.
Whose fault is it for the Derek Carr? Like, I don't really blame a whole lot of Derek Carr. He's not the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's not awful. I blame a lot on the Raiders. The man has went through so much turmoil and turnovers. The coaches, the GMs, receivers. Scott alluded to no offensive line this year. Poor drafting by John Gruden. And here he is. He gets his guy, Devontae, come to the team. And, I mean, they had high hopes, but I always knew that offensive line was going to be their downfall, and it just is.
There's one man, Josh McDaniels. He's not a head coach. He's an offensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. I believe that when they hired him. He messed Indy up 3 years ago before they got Reich.
Yeah.
And he's just been more successful. Remember Denver, he started out 6-0, and then they just lost.
That's true.
So,
all right, Scott.
They got caught cheating.
Scott, we're going to have to let you go. Keep things rolling here. Appreciate you hopping on, talking here. We'll talk. We'll do more Raiders stuff.
Hey,
I got a lot.
Real
of
quick, Scott.
Absolutely.
What's the score tonight? You and Johnny's team. Winner go home. Winner advances. Loser season
end.
end.
At 7 too. Scott.
I said Miami 17-13 over the Patriots today. Yeah. That's what I thought. So
yeah, and Scott will be on with me at the 7 o'clock show tonight, so we'll be able to go over that game today. So.
Yep. I'll try to keep Johnny off the ledge tonight.
I appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Give me the Pats winning this game.
You think so? Huh?
I'll take 10-2.
Tanner doesn't want to see Tyreek Hill on that opposite sideline.
I ain't worried about Tyreek Hill. I ain't worried about Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
You don't think Andy Reid knows how to play him? I ain't worried about it.
I'm sure. But there's other people there that Tyreek Hill's going to affect, man. That'll be a fun matchup. I hope it happens. It will be. I hope
all right, Scott. We'll let you go, man. Appreciate you coming on.
All right, buddy. Happy New Year, buddy. I'll talk to you later,
Happy New Year to you guys.
Yeah, you too, man.
Happy New Year.
All right, let's bring them on. Let's bring on Seattle football talk. Bo, what's up, man?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man.
What up?
How was your New Year?
It was good. It was good. It was a good time here. A little karaoke, not bad.
Nice and quiet. I'm old, so it was just a struggle to stay up past midnight, and then you know, saying, and then talk to my kids and call my mom and stuff, and a couple of my close friends, and I was in bed by like 12:20.
That's fair.
I like it. So we talked.
Johnny.
We talked last week a little bit about the Chiefs Seahawks matchup, and that was more of a Chiefs dominant game than I thought it would be. Hallelujah for me, because
no, I mean that mostly went the way I thought it would. And they got burned at the tight end position, like I was saying they were going to. I mean, unfortunately, it's just the way that defense is set up currently. So if you have a competent tight end, I mean, they're going to go for a buck, no problem. And, you know, the last 2 weeks, they went against two of the best tight ends in the league.
They did.
Yeah.
That they did. So we got this week here. Seattle has the Jets coming into play.
Yep.
Mike White is back.
Geno Smith revenge game, Tanner. Geno Smith revenge game
is what you're going with. Hey, that's a fair game.
Whatever works for Seattle to win, man. Whatever works.
Too right. Carroll was in New York as well, so
right.
It's yeah. I mean, this is a game that the Hawks can definitely win. Obviously, the team does play better with Mike White than Zach Wilson. So naturally, I was kind of hoping for Wilson to get the start, but just to watch the world burn, right?
But yeah, like the Mike White effect is pretty big for those elite receivers on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, the outside receivers don't scare me that much. I mean, you have Woolen out there who's going to the Pro Bowl as a rookie, has a real shot at defensive rookie of the year, and honestly has a real shot to be an all-pro in his rookie season. So I'm not too worried about that. You have Diggs back there, and he's healthy and playing. So it also means that I'm not super scared of the New York defense. They have a really good defense, but our offense practices against Woolen and Diggs and Neal. And so when it comes to the passing game, I'm not that worried about it. The running game, that's a real question mark.
That's fair.
Bo, I want to talk about that Woolen kid. Why isn't he getting a lot of the press? Is it because it's the Seattle? Like Seattle is not like national media. It's like Sauce Gardner seems to be getting.
New York. He's in New York.
Yeah, like New York. Like everybody talking about Sauce, but nobody's talking about your guy. And you just mentioned, hey, headed to the Pro Bowl, has a chance to be all pro, but he's not getting the love that Sauce is. Is it because he's not as brashy, or is it because it's Seattle versus New York?
It's definitely because it's Seattle and not New York, especially this year because they didn't have a lot of primetime games really. So he hasn't been able to hit that national stage. Obviously, they don't have the media circus that New York always does. And he has the disadvantage of he wasn't a, first round high level pick, right? So there's a lot of expectation that comes with Sauce, and he's performed. Don't get me wrong. He's absolutely performed. But statistically, Woolen is better across the board. So should he get that rookie of the year? Probably. But, at the end of the day, it's voting. It's not stats. So who knows?
Popular name gets it, essentially.
All right. As far I got a Geno Smith question. I mean, obviously, it was a great story.
Absolutely.
Start. Like, what exactly has happened the last several weeks? I mean, obviously nobody expected him to play at that high of a level the whole season. And what do you think the team needs to do to kind of get back on track and try to lock in this, one of these playoff spots here?
So it's funny because if you look at the just toxic nature of some of these like Seahawk fan pages, stuff like that.
They're all around the league, bro. Just so you know, they're all around the league. Every team has them, bro. Every team has them.
They totally are, but it's hilarious because he had a dip in his stats over the last couple weeks, right? And people are now losing their mind. They're like, "Oh, Geno is back to being Geno," and all of this stuff. And they're just going to gloss over the fact that the last 2 weeks they're playing two Super Bowl favorites. One with the best defense in the league, and the other one with really an underrated defense. And people are losing their minds like all of a sudden he's trash. He just played the best defense in the league and actually had decent numbers. So I don't really get the Geno hate over the last couple of weeks. To be fair, I'm not a huge Geno guy, but he's played out of his mind all year. So if you're still throwing for almost 250 on some of the best defenses in the league, I really don't see why people are mad.
It isn't I think we talked about last week that when the run game isn't there or it's like under 80 yards or something like that, that's when you guys lose. Versus on the other side, when you guys score, rush for over 80 yards and at least a touchdown, usually it's, it helps Geno out. Like it's not Geno's fault that the games are lost. It's the fact that offense can't continue to move down the field. So obviously, I think Johnny too. Like you asked that question, what do the Seattle need to do? They need to get Kenneth Walker the ball and try to give him some lanes to get open.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's easier said than done because that Jets defense, I mean, they're no slouch against the run.
Yeah, they're top 5 against the run. And unfortunately, it's the Seahawks interior O-line that really has had a hard time opening any kind of rushing lanes. They've been solid in pass protection, but for whatever reason, after week 10, they just haven't been able to open anything for the rush game. And it hasn't mattered who's been in the backfield. So, I mean, unfortunately, what you have personnel-wise is what you have. So I don't know why they're not doing more stunts, rub blocks, stuff like that to try and create some space. But because it's not like Walker needs a ton of space to get through, but he needs to not get hit 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So it's hard to get ahead of steam and actually break a tackle if you're, catching the handoff at the same time you're getting tackled.
Right. When you have, what was
real
it,
quick,
6
Tanner,
tackles for a loss last week?
So game plan wise, what do you think? What do you think the mindset for the game plan is? Will they try to start off kind of maybe bootlegging Geno, try to get the passing game going a little bit to open up the running lanes for Kenneth Walker, or are they just going to try to just establish a run and shorten the game and stuff like that?
So that's what they should do, is get him moving around and open stuff. That is not what's going to happen. They're gonna jam it up the middle into that top 5 run defense, and it's probably going to be, frustrating and give me more of this gray shit on my face.
I'm wearing a hat to cover mine, bro. Don't worry.
Hey, same, brother.
But yeah, no, I mean, unfortunately, they probably won't move it around a lot. I don't really know why they haven't been moving the pocket more. Geno is athletic enough to make that work. And, if your offensive line isn't able to open stuff up, it definitely helps them to be able to do that, especially if you get some line shifts in that movement. But for whatever reason, they really seem to be, A and B gap all the time. And man, that's it's tough when you're starting each drive at 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. And, and then of course, that's why you've seen our 3rd down production be under 30% over the last couple of weeks. Cause I mean, when you're 3rd and a mile, there's not a lot in the playbook left that's going to pick that up.
That's fair on that one. What's your score prediction here?
It's going to be a pretty tight game. I think it's going to be probably going to be 24 to 21, really. It's probably going to come down to a field goal.
Okay.
I think, Bo, I was just going to ask, are you happy regardless of the season, no matter what? Because here it is, week 17, playing for, really kind of playoff lives where everybody probably thought, you'd win 2 or 3 games and be one of the worst teams in the league. So no matter what, is this just like, hey, we're house money?
Yeah, I mean, it's really great in that way, right? Because the media had them at 2-3 wins. I was predicting a 7-win season, but what's been awesome about it is we've been able to see these rookies perform, right? And so even if they don't take that second-year leap, if they're just more of the same, you have to be impressed with what the tackles and have been able to do. Obviously, the defensive players as well. So all of that is great. Naturally, going into this offseason, we have some real questions at quarterback because everybody's talking about Geno being a free agent at the end of the year and what do we do with him? But they kind of forget the fact that Locke is also a free agent at the end of this. And so we go into the offseason with no quarterbacks on the roster. So there's some real questions on, how that's going to go.
I didn't think about that.
It's going to be interesting there, man.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, Bo. We'll let you go, man. Appreciate you hopping on.
Yep.
Hopefully your Seahawks team can get a W today over the Jets.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully, man. I'm rooting for you, bro.
I got the Jets winning.
I got them sneaking it out too as well, but I'm gonna be rooting for your Seahawks. Trust me, as a Dolphin fan.
You guys are gonna be quarterback list next year too, I think.
It's possible, man. It's possible. We don't know what's going on now, man.
All right, Bo. Thanks, man. Appreciate you hopping on.
Take it easy, guys.
See you, man.
Happy
See you,
New Year,
bro.
man. Take it easy, bro.
You too.
Hey, real quick, Johnny, I just got Ian Rappaport just tweeted out Bradley Chubb, X Howard, and Taron Armstead all out today for the Dolphins.
Wait, who?
X, Bradley Chubb, and Taron Armstead all out for the Dolphins today.
Who has the better depth? That's going to tell it today. Patriots or the Dolphins? Right now, I'm leaning Patriots. So,
Wow.
All right, let's bring him in. Let's bring in Carlos here. Talk some Texans. What's up, dude?
What up?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's the first time I do it on the car because we're on Rios and I are on our way to the game.
Oh,
And,
nice.
I'm still waiting on him to show up, so always running late. So I'm waiting for him to show up. I'm at my apartment complex, but anyway, I'm in the car. I look like a weirdo just by myself here. Anyway, in the parking lot. But
Talking to yourself.
Yeah, talking to myself. You know, I have to start my car right now, and I look like an Uber driver. Nothing wrong with an Uber driver, but I just look like an Uber driver. I was like, man, yeah, man. It's gonna be okay. So, if y'all saw some of the games yesterday with Alabama against Kansas, and then Ohio State, those you got to see some pretty good quarterback performances, right?
Yep.
And so it kind of makes it kind of like we kind of wonder now, like, okay, we're still, Bryce Young played a great game yesterday. It started off a little slow, but then he just picked it up. He dominated. And then you have CJ Stroud at the end, who I think he lost his receiver, and then he had to like improvise and move around the pocket a little more, which is something he's kind of not used to or whatnot. So the question still begs is still with us, like who are we still going to take? Based on today's game, honestly, I'm wondering, like, all right, we won last against the Titans, cool, but now it's like, what happens if you win today's game? It might change, the trajectory of the whole how do you call it, draft? And so, and if we did that, and if we did that, it would be like the most Texans thing that could happen. So
you guys could get two, I guess, right? Right, Carlos? You guys would fall to two, and the Bears could get to the one. But at least they're not picking a quarterback, so a team could essentially trade up to get to that one seed. And I think you guys would take either Stroud or Young.
Yeah, and there's been some conversation about some people wanting Will Levis also. That's another option that people talk about. That we're talking about. We were hosting a space earlier today, Rios and I. And there was some Texans fans there that were talking about, the possibility of Will Levis. Also, some people want, Anderson. Like, there's so many things but the thing is this, like, through the history of the Texans, it's almost like it comes naturally to sometimes always just pick a defensive player than your quarterback. But after, like I said, back to what my point was, like, you got to see those performances yesterday from those quarterbacks. And it's going to be hard to pass up on a quarterback after yesterday's performances,
Yeah, it is.
So that's the thing. And then I think it also came out today on, I think it's through NFL. I can't remember who announced it, that the Texans are going to be evaluating Lovie Smith and the whole staff at the end of the season if they come back. Like, it's actually legitimately out there. Now, of course, we always expected it. We talked about it countless amount of times when we've been in here. And now it's actually like an official thing because, like, they're really going to evaluate. And that's one of the things that Rios and I were talking about in our space this morning, that we think they might just clean house completely and then start over. Like, if, for example, if you get like a Bryce, like, let's say hypothetically you get Bryce Young, you get or even if for the matter of, like, if you get a quarterback in the first round, it would be better if you just start him off fresh, specifically for Bryce Young. You need the kid to develop. Now the question is he going to come in and ball out right away? Probably not. He's probably going to have to sit behind somebody and learn the ropes or whatnot. But it wouldn't with Lovie Smith, even though we love Lovie Smith here in Houston, we respect the guy. I don't think Lovie Smith would be the right fit if they got Bryce Young.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Who would you want? With this kind of two parts. So it's like we just saw the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of go through this last year, and here they are a year later in the playoffs. They got the right coach, already had the quarterback. So, like, is that team you guys would like to replicate? And, like, who, if you could pick your coach going forward and the quarterback, who would that be?
A lot of talk has been with, you get names thrown out, all the time when it comes to, especially for any team that's looking for a new head coach. Kafka has been one of the names that has been thrown out for. I think he's with the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, right now. Yeah. And then another name, D'Amico Ryans is another name that has been thrown around too. The thing about D'Amico though is he's a defensive-minded coach, and earlier in the week we had a podcast with former Houston Texans safety, Quinn Demps.
Oh,
and
nice.
Quinn Demps, and he also played for the Chiefs, the Giants. He played for numerous amounts of teams, and we had a conversation with him for about 45 minutes or so, and he was just very open about things like that. So I asked him because he played on that. Sorry about that. I'm getting notifications on the phone.
You're good.
He played with D'Amico Ryans in that 2011 Texans defense.
Yeah.
And so, and if you ever look back into it, that Texans defense was like elite. Like, and it's not a crazy hot take. It had the potential to be a Super Bowl team back in 2011. J.J. Watt's debut it had the potential to be that one. And when we talked to Quentin, he's like, yeah, definitely, because they had a balanced offense and a really good defense at that time. Anyway, so we asked him, do you think you're going to start, you want to coach or whatever? Because he's kind of like coaching the collegiate level. And so we talked to him about one of your former teammates, D'Amico Ryans, is coaching now and what if we saw him as a Texans head coach? And he said, I don't know, but honestly, he didn't see D'Amico as wanting to be a head coach, according to him.
Okay.
But he wasn't too sure. He's like, I honestly don't see him. I think he wants to stay as a defensive coordinator. So D'Amico is one of those names that's thrown out here. But I think people here in Houston want D'Amico Ryans because he played for the team years ago. So it feels like it's more based on the emotion than the actual, than actually wanting him to actually play, to actually, be the best fit for the team. I'm not saying he's not the best fit for the team, but I think a lot of people just ride on that emotion that, he's a former player, he used to be here, kind of a thing, bring him home, stuff
sure
like
sounds
that.
like a Jeff Saturday kind of type style. Like, hey, got a former player.
Yeah. And so, and don't get me wrong. What if D'Amico actually turned out to be a really great coach? And the thing is, if that's the case, since he's a defensive-minded coach, just like Lovie Smith is, you're gonna need a great offensive coordinator. Especially if you're gonna get like a young rookie quarterback like Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, whoever it turns out to be. Again, after yesterday's performance, I really think I'm more positive now that the Texans will get a quarterback in the first round than before, as opposed to obviously depending on whatever result of today's game would be also, so
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true on that.
But yeah, man.
Carlos, what about Tanner's guy Bieniemy? Like he's interviewed there like 2 or 3 times. This would be like the 3rd time interviewed. Was close a couple times.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It seems like somehow he just can't get past that interview stage.
It's that next step, essentially.
Yeah, that's just that next step. And so the thing with Bieniemy. Okay, so let me give you guys a quick little story because I know we're limited on time. But so when the last time that Bieniemy interviewed here for the Texans is when Deshaun Watson was still here, before all of that stuff came out with him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so that's during the time that like Deshaun Watson kind of wanted to be part of like drafting, being like kind of like how Brett Favre kind of used to do in a way, like you kind of be in charge of things like that. Or
he wanted to have a say, essentially.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Not in charge of drafting, but I have a say. Sorry about that. And so and so that's during the time we had Jack Easterby, and that's the whole another story. But Jack Easterby was very controlling of things that happened, right, within the team when he was with the Texans. So part of that thing is that when Eric Bieniemy interviewed for the Texans, Eric Bieniemy wanted a lot of control from what he wanted like complete and utter control. And it didn't sit too well with Jack Easterby. And, he was really close with Cal at that time, Cal McNair, the owner, and just things didn't work out and Bieniemy was out. Because even during that interview process at the time, I think Robert Saleh was also interviewed with the Texans as well and didn't get it. And a lot of it I feel like had to do with Jack Easterby. However, the Eric Bieniemy thing, obviously Jack Easterby's influence there, but also the fact that he wanted so much control, where we're to completely phased out, Jack Easterby, and so that I felt didn't go so well, and obviously that's one of the reasons why he didn't get hired. But if you guys remember, Jack Easterby was a big proponent of getting Josh McCown as a head coach.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be y'all's head coach? Right. He was supposed to be the head coach, right? Like that's the next head coach is Josh McCown.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like, if people were in uproar with Jeff Saturday, like, Josh McCown would have been a complete whole different story.
Because he would literally just retire as a player to go coach.
Right.
And it's like, what the world?
Yeah, and I think he was volunteering. He was a volunteer coach at his son's like high school or school or something like that. Yeah. And to just automatically go to the NFL as a head coach, it would have been a joke. Like, seriously, worse than the Jeff Saturday situation. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't Deshaun Watson very upset though that Bieniemy didn't get the job? Because I remember hearing a bunch of uproar on that too.
Exactly, because he felt that I think Deshaun Watson at the time felt that he would have helped his career just like I think he felt that it would have been the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like
the offensive mind that he needed. Yep.
Exactly, because I think I can't remember who was it. Now I can't even remember who was it. Tim Kelly that we had as an offensive coordinator when that was happening. I think it might have been Tim Kelly or something like that. Or
I think it was
when O'Brien was calling the OC. Yeah, I can't remember if it was Tim Kelly or O'Brien was calling was the OC also. Like I can't remember exactly how it went down, but yeah, he felt that he was upset at the team. Also, that's when a lot of it started from there. It started with Hopkins' trade. Then it was the Bieniemy situation where he felt like, and then that he wanted control. It was just a bunch of things at once that culminated in Deshaun's thing. And then the stuff with Deshaun came out, and then obviously the Bieniemy thing didn't work out. But it played a role into why Bieniemy isn't coaching for the Texans now. He's still with Kansas City.
You feel if that situation comes up here again during this offseason, do you think do you think it actually happens now? Like there would be control?
If
Bieniemy went out?
Yeah, like if Bieniemy went out, I think they could consider him again. I mean, I don't see why not. He's a great offensive mind. He's a great. Let me retract my comment. Do you feel like he's been a great help to you to the Chiefs? Since you obviously know more. What do you think?
Yeah. I'd say yes.
Success?
But look at who was also before him. That was also with Mahomes, and that was Nagy and Peterson. Like you already had that success. I think he's helped continue the success of that offense and keep going. Okay. But you also got a guy like GameDay Reed.
Right.
I think Bieniemy has the resources and the knowledge now to be able to go out and do something effective for another team.
So
it's weird to me that he would want so much control for his first opportunity to get a job. You know what I mean? So like that's a little weird to me that he would get a job first and show yourself before you start demanding total control of the roster. I mean,
it's like you. I
didn't understand that.
Hold on. Honking at Rios, get over here. You and your Derek Stingley jersey, get over here. Anyway, so no, I feel like it's like you going into a job and then we're like, no, by the way, as soon as I get hired, I want control of everything around here.
Right. Yeah. I want your job. Hey, I want your job. Right. I want your job. Yeah. But I guess it just sounds like Bill Parcells said, if they're going to give you, the groceries, they might as well let you go to the grocery store and pick out your food, So if they're going to tell you to cook something.
That was the thing with Bieniemy. He just wanted full control, right? When he interviewed, he wanted full control of the whole situation with put your seatbelt on. Remember, safety first, sir.
Well done.
Yeah, remember, even Tupac wore a seatbelt, sir. Ice Cube from the story. Anyway, so it was. I feel like we're doing carpool karaoke here. Let's start singing. So Backstreet Boys.
Sing the Texans fight song,
Right. Might as well. No, and so yeah, he wanted full control of the situation, and like I said, it's just like you interview for a job, and then you're like, I also want full control of this, and the whole organization, and I make the calls, kind of a thing. So that was the whole thing with Eric Bieniemy, man, and yeah, that's why it didn't work out. But would you? So how do you call it? Tanner asked the question like, if Eric Bieniemy came and interviewed again for like the fifth time for the Texans?
Yeah.
What do you think? Would you consider that?
If you're gonna give him control, if you're gonna have him like as a puppet, if he's had like Cully and with Lovey, like then no. But if you're gonna give him control, then yeah. Because I mean, look what he's done with that KC offense. You went from having a guy like Alex Smith to Mahomes, and
well, you got to remember too. We had Nagy, we had Peterson, and of course, you always have the the great and big red there. So it's there's a lot of other pieces with it. I think with that Chiefs offense than just Bieniemy, but Bieniemy's been around with those pieces probably the longest right now.
Yeah, and
I mean, you hope he's better than Nagy at least, right? Like, I mean, you hope he doesn't go to Chicago like Nagy did Chicago and just.
Hey, Nagy took them to a winning season for one year. I'm just saying 1 year. So, Tufel, what's up, Tufel? Sorry, I didn't call you out earlier. So Kelsey said this week that Reed is one calling plays. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about on their podcast, New Heights podcast, that Kelsey did say that Reed is calling plays.
Oh, okay. So that may then. Do you guys think so for sure? Do you guys think that that Eric Bieniemy is like going to be phased out of the Chiefs or?
Yes.
Okay. So
I think
he almost was. Tanner, wasn't he almost this year? Like he didn't have a job and they brought him back on like a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
Kind of like, hey, we're surprised you didn't get another job. Like, I guess welcome home,
we'll bring
son.
it back.
You got 1 more year to get your shit together. We're kicking you out of this house.
See, that's
like, I don't care if you go to college, join the military, do something, but you got 1 year to get your life together, Eric.
That's the thing with Reed, though. He sticks with his guys. He doesn't go out and fire. It took forever to fire Bob Sutton, before we had Spags, and we were playing prevent defense for God's sake, and in the middle of the second quarter. So, he sticks with his guys, and honestly, do I see if Bieniemy doesn't get a head coaching job? I don't think he leaves. So, I think he comes back again.
Yeah, as a coaching question, sorry, Los, but I mean, I know the NFL is if you have this type of coach, and you fire him, they always go to the complete opposite. So if you have a real strict coach, you go with the players coach. If you got a veteran coach, you go with the new young up and coming, whatever. Like, in your opinion, if you're gonna draft a young quarterback, do you want to start with a inexperienced coach, or do you want maybe a more veteran coach that's got a little experience, maybe more offensive minded, like you mentioned, that can put a good staff together around a young quarterback? Or are you good with everybody just being a first time coach and doing that again?
I think you would need a veteran presence, somebody who's been a head coach before, who has that experience, and also just to, like, again, let's say hypothetically we take Bryce or whoever a young rookie quarterback, and you have to have a plan to develop him also. Like, that's why I'm a big proponent that even though Lovey is experienced, I don't think he's the best fit for whoever's coming in, but I agree with Johnny Cruz there. Like, you need a veteran coach who is an offensive-minded coach, specifically if you're picking a quarterback position, who can help him develop along the way. Right, Riff? Or what do you think?
I should go opposite. I'm gonna say, if you want a guy that's
get out of my car, okay?
You want a guy that's an asset in this way. It's that he's gonna basically mold his offense to fit his quarterback skill set versus trying to make his quarterback fit into his system. So he wants something that's gonna be adaptable. These older coaches, they're set in their ways. Like, they think the way is the only way. They're not gonna change.
So at the beginning, we were talking about who do you think would be a kind of like a good fit for the Texans. We talked about I talked about Kafka as a name that got thrown out. What do you think? What's another name? We talked about D'Amico too, but
yeah. I will go with D'Amico. Like I said, he's again the leader of men. He has ties with the organization. If they go Bryce Young, with Alabama, ties with him, Mechie, Christian Harris, like those ties are there.
So
if they go with D'Amico, you're gonna have to go with a really good offensive coordinator. That's again, I would say inexperienced, at the same time, you don't want a guy that's like been doing it for 20 years and he has his own system and
right.
Basically trying to put squares in the circle pegs. Like,
what about Sean Payton? Sean Payton, the guy. I mean, according to what I've read, is that he wants pretty much like almost full control, but he also wants to live by the ocean. So, and well, I mean, if they get a quarterback,
that was just an ocean.
I mean, that's the only knock, right, on Houston is there's not ocean, but he wants to live a good life while he finishes coaches.
Let me tell you this: the only quote unquote ocean that we have, or it's the Gulf of Mexico, and it's called Galveston Island. And oh my gosh, you cannot see your feet. The water is mercury brown. Like, it is the worst place you've ever been to. There's diapers flowing. Like, it is the worst thing ever. The only reason we go to it is because, oh look, it's a beach. But you almost feel bad. You're gonna come out with bacteria when you dip your feet in there. Like, seriously, a bunch of diseases. It's the worst. Exactly.
Twofold ask, what about Frank Reich doing a division hop?
I don't think you want them problems.
Maybe as an OC, I don't know about a head coach, man. An OC, yeah, but
I'd be okay with that.
I mean,
a head coach,
if you paired him with D'Amico, I think that would be a good fit.
I think, as a coordinator,
that'd be a good fit.
I wouldn't do it a head coach. I think what the Texans are going to look for, and kind of what they've seen on other, I guess, teams that have struggled recently as well, the Jets, the Giants, even down there in Jacksonville, it's kind of that effect, that energy effect going into play. Miami could be considered one too. They want that dabble effect. They want that energy where the head coaches have the same amount of passion as the players to keep that energy up. I think that's something that I love Lovey. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he gives that same effect. I don't think he gives that passion, that fire every week.
Keep your eyes open for Darrell Bevel too, bro.
Darrell Bevel, yeah. Now the only thing about Lovey, like I feel like the Texans could use him as like an advisor role. You know, I don't know if you remember a couple years ago we had Cornell. Yep. As he was our defensive coach, and then he started slowly transitioning over just to as an advisor. And I think that's a role that they could put Lovey, unless like Lovey wants to continue coaching, But the thing about Lovey's defense now is like the whole Tampa 2 thing is just.
It worked 20 years ago.
It worked, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's that
you
new
be
age
able to mix
thing.
it up. You got to mix it up. Man.
Yeah, you got to mix it up. The Tampa 2 is just not working with the Texans here. Like I think you brought up a good point about Derek Stingley, how they're using him, right?
Yeah, he's a cover corner. You got him playing in zone coverage, like.
Right. No.
It's like imagine putting Deion Sanders in zone coverage. They're just not utilizing players.
Deion would just walk out, dude.
Yeah, I was about to say Deion would have demanded a trade.
Hey, the rest of the team can play zone. I'm playing man, is what Deion would say.
That's true. It's like Jalen, Jalen Ramsey. He says, "I'm not switching sides, so I'm staying on this side. I'm not going to follow. You just have to adjust the way I play defense around me." So,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
what?
Man, that's
What do you guys got for the prediction today? Since you're on the way to the game.
Honestly, I'm hoping while a win would be cool, I still don't want it just so we can still securely, set that first pick. Even though, like you said, I think the Bears have the second pick, and they're going to stick with Fields, so I don't think they're going to go to they're going to go over to quarterback. But if we do end up winning today's game, and we do go to the second pick, I could see the Bears drafting, Will Anderson or something like that, or Jalen Carter, and then I think we still fall into getting a quarterback in that draft. So, anyway, back to what you were saying. I think honestly, the way the Texans have been on a little hot streak, I'm going to take the Texans today.
Okay.
And I think it might be a close one too. So as long as the Texans can continue to get those first downs like they've been doing with this whole little 2 QB system thing that's happening, You remember Jalen? Pierce is out. Damian Pierce is out for the season.
Yeah. I feel it. I'm a fantasy team.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, and so basically now you're having. I think they're using Freeman as their primary back, rotating with Wandewali and then Rex Burkhead thrown in the mix here, and so. Which is Rios' favorite player, by the way. Yeah. Check down Burkhead, And so basically, I think something is kind of working. And I think if they can keep extending those first downs, you get the defense off the field, you give them their much necessary break, and the defense can perform. Because the defense is what's been essential to the Texans' success since the Cowboys game, And so as long as you can keep our defense off the field, I think the Texans can win it. And I don't think it's going to be like a blowout. I think it might actually be a close game. And I'm going to take the Texans on that one.
What do you got, Rios?
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be not a lot of touchdowns from our side. It's going to be a lot of field goals. Probably get maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. I'm going maybe 20-17. It's going to be close.
Yeah. I'm going to go,
I think the defense shuts Lawrence down again.
Yeah.
He's been playing well, but I think our defense has his number.
Also, we've been able to start getting to the quarterback now, recently, which is surprise, because we weren't doing that at the beginning of the season. We've been rushing towards the quarterback. We've been getting some sacks. And also look out for, again, another guy that I'm looking at defense, Jalen Petrie, number 5. Man,
Petrie flies.
Elevated toward – yeah, Petrie flies. That was a steal from Baylor that we got this season. I'm very happy with that. Second round, yeah. So look out for Jalen Petrie. I think he might be pivotal to this game. And that's it, right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
Texans for sure. Who are you?
Yeah,
Texans, yeah. So Texans, I think. Yeah.
Johnny, who you got?
I think Jacksonville needs, obviously they need this game to kind of lock it up.
Yeah.
I think Trevor Lawrence is Doug Peterson has got him playing well. I love what Houston's been doing as far as their fight these last few weeks. I mean, props to Lovey and what he's done with them. But I think Trevor Lawrence will make that 1 or 2, extra plays that he needs to make, and it'll be a close game. I'm thinking, 2017, 19-17 might even be one of those ugly ones. Yeah. And then just the last second. But I think the Jaguars pull it out and lock up that division.
Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, it makes sense because now, not even the Titans.
I got the Jags today.
Jags. Okay.
Yeah, I got Jaguars too.
I think Trevor Lawrence and the boys are playing too damn good here lately.
True. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I'm happy either way, guys.
Well, all right, guys. Enjoy the game.
Hopefully
fun, man. It's in your favor there. But hopefully you have a little fun time and it keeps it exciting. So.
Oh, for sure. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Happy New Year, guys.
Hey, see you, boys.
All right,
have a good one.
See ya.
All right. That's going to be a good game today, I think.
I think so
Jacksonville
too.
Game's going to be good, but I think it's right there for them, man. Like you win this game, you're saying you got it. So I think they pull it through.
Well, they'd have to beat Tennessee still next week. I think no matter even if Jacksonville loses, right? They still got to play. They still got to play Tennessee and win it for the winner go home.
Yeah, basically the tiebreaker essentially. So
yeah.
And I mean, hey, I said last week too, Jacksonville could be ending another team season within the division on the final week. Last year was the Colts. This year could be the Titans. So
yeah, but this year they get to advance if they win. That's the difference,
Yeah, exactly. This year they can actually go.
This year they're like, hey, we got something to play for.
Right.
All right. Well, let's bring in
considering the season they had last year, man. I mean, what a story is that they make the playoffs?
Worst, first in the division at least. So
yeah.
Such a turnaround, such a different.
What a difference a coach makes.
All right. Let's bring in a guy's season that is over, but still fighting, a little bit here. Bobby G. What's up, dude?
Happy New Year. Shots fired.
Happy New Year's, fellas. What is going on? I'm going to take it. I'm going to say those guys, they're not going to the game. They're heading out of town. So if I was in Houston, I'd be heading out of town, too. I'm telling you, they're going to get boat raced by the Jaguars. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence's coming out party, and it hurts my heart so much because I did not want him to end up in Jacksonville. I love Sunshine. I think he's going to be a great QB. I just want him out of Jacksonville. That's all.
I feel you, bro. I was so happy when the Jets took Zach Wilson over Justin Fields, bro. I was so happy about that. I did not want Justin Fields and Josh Allen in their freaking AFC East, bro. No, that's good. I'm good.
And Botkins, I feel you. Like as a Browns fan and as a user Packers fan, it will hurt. You can't say it will not hurt your heart if the Jacksonville freaking Jaguars make the playoffs and we don't. How the hell did that happen?
Bobby, I'm a biggest Brown supporter today as you are, my friend, because I need the Browns to beat the Commanders. Yes. And then the tonight's game, the afternoon game, Packers-Vikings means even more. So, Bobby, tell me what the Browns got to do. Like, send me some Brown stuff. I'll wear whatever I need to wear today to get some good juju. Give me all the elves in the world. I got some Christmas presents laying around here somewhere. I'm about to put on the elf and run around the house for this Browns victory, hopefully today.
Honestly, I don't think you have to do too much. I think this is going to be the game everybody's been waiting for, where Deshaun Watson gives everybody a preview of the future. I think it'll be his first multi-touchdown game because he's facing that nightmare of a defensive line from the Commanders. That if I could take anything from any team and put it on my team, it would be that defensive line. They're amazing. They're young. They're athletic. They can get after you without blitzing, and they just gotta stay healthy, man. But I think that these guys coming, you got these young dogs coming after you. You got no choice but to make plays. So I think they're gonna force it out of them.
I think so too. I think it's really. Right now, the end of the season's for building consistency, getting that relationship down.
I think they try a bunch of stuff because it doesn't matter. I think they try a bunch of stuff, trying out things for next season, seeing what they can and can't do because they have nothing to play for and it doesn't matter anyway. And again, I don't think Deshaun Watson wants to have Chase Young or Deron Payne breathing down his neck all game, but he's gonna, and he's going to have to make plays. The only way to get out of it is to make plays.
Right.
So. Yep, I see it.
Bobby, what the hell happened last week to the Saints, though? What happened in the Saints game? Because I thought that was the game the Browns had built some momentum, beat the Ravens, and then they kind of lay this egg against the Saints.
We can't stop people with the ball behind the line of scrimmage. And I'm not going to say running back. You guys asked, was I afraid of Taysom Hill? My answer was no, because it doesn't matter. Like Botkins, you could have signed a one-day contract with the Saints and told me they signed you to play running back. You're going to you could run for 35 yards on our defense. I'm telling, like it doesn't matter who's running the ball. We're just that team to run on. So it's not a fear factor of a specific individual, and that's what happened. Like you just saw it. They wore us down and just ran. Came back from a 10-0 lead. We couldn't answer. It was just one of those weird games. We didn't make plays. We had a couple of drop touchdowns. I think the biggest one was Amari Cooper in the first half. If he catches that pass, and at the end of the game, we only need a field goal to tie the game instead of a touchdown. It's just guys just got to make plays.
Yeah, talk about a receiver that really needs to step up. That was Amari Cooper right there.
Yeah, and that was a huge drop.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was kind of a bummer to see the Saints win because I did pick Cleveland to win, and I betted on that, of course. And just thinking like, hey, Deshaun's going to come alive. Nick Chubb's going to run all over that defense,
and he did.
He did, but like you said, too many blown plays to stop drives essentially happened.
And if you look at everybody, it's sad because the second half of that game is going to overshadow the first. And if you just look at the first half, Deshaun Watson played elite football.
Yes, he looked good.
Every ball was on target. The timing was perfect. Of course, he had the one rushing touchdown. Like if you just watch him operate in the first half, you would not have been able to tell he had not played for 2 years, considering the conditions.
Yeah. So as we go into the off season here, what's the moves you're looking to make? Are you looking at Stefanski possibly leaving, or what are we seeing?
Everybody knew he had a pass for the year. Joe Woods better get up out of there. If they don't, people are going to burn the stadium down. So that better be the first move. The second move, Mike Prefer's got to go. Special teams has killed us all year. Second and third moves is we need some what I call professional fat guys. We need 2 professional fat guys on the interior of that defensive line to eat blocks for our linebackers. And we need a speed demon on offense. Somebody take the top off, create that extra space for a DPJ and Amari underneath. So my wishful thinking is I'm keeping an eye on the Derek Carr situation.
Yeah.
Here in Vegas, because that Derek Carr situation could lead to Devontae being willing to get out of here. If that's the case, we don't have the draft capital. But at this point, if I'm a GM and I have a $230 million quarterback, we have 2 pieces on defense in their prime, locked up for years, one being Myles Garrett, another being Denzel Ward. I wouldn't mind moving off of if I could get a Devontae Adams in return.
That'd be interesting.
You would trade Myles Garrett for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
What good has he done on our defense anyway?
I was about to say you got to make that move. If you got the opportunity, you got to make that move.
Yeah, he gets sacks, but we still have bottom half of the league defense and bottom of the league run defense.
Deshaun already showed, like he said, like Bobby said, Deshaun already showed that little glimpse of what he can do, man. You get him a stud like Devontae Adams with all the other weapons and Nick Chubb back there. Like, yeah, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, I would definitely trade Myles Garrett for a guaranteed 30 points. If you put Devontae Adams on this team and now you push Amari Cooper to the number 2 spot, DPJ to the 3, and you still got Njoku in the middle and Chubb in the back. Oh my God. Yeah, I would trade Myles Garrett.
But hey, Bobby, keep dreaming, baby, because Devontae's coming home. Hey, Devontae's coming home.
Devontae's coming home.
Devontae realized, hey, Aaron, I'm sorry. I should have never went and played with my friend. We are the best together. That's what's happening this offseason.
And I hate to break all your guys' deal. He's not leaving.
We're the
Vegas.
best.
Funny thing, I think if the Packers get rid of Aaron Rodgers, he'd actually go back. That would be hilarious.
No.
He go back.
He go play with Jordan Love?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Bobby, I thought we were friends. We were going to be Browns fans together today, and you're throwing shade this way.
Hey, we still got you today. 23-20. That's 23-20. We got it.
Oh, man. 23-20?
Yeah, I like Cleveland in this game too, man. To be quite honest, I think Deshaun's starting to get it. You know what I'm saying? He's getting his feet underneath him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna make enough plays.
Yeah, we're gonna struggle to
pull out
a
close one.
So he's gonna have to.
Yeah, I think Wentz throws a pick, and kind of seal it late, and Browns sneak out one here against the Commanders, and that's what they get for benching Taylor Heineke and going back to
so Wentz is the official, right? The official starter.
Yep. Wentz is the official starter.
Yeah, 2 full seasons. You think Commanders win with the boat race? Look, my only concern there is Wentz starting. And if Heineke was starting, I'd go Commanders. But I think I even have to go back to the Browns route just for the fact that I think Wentz gets benched in the third quarter with the struggle. And if you're by the way, if you got Scary Terry on your fantasy team for the championship week,
Scary Terry,
it's not good.
Screwed.
It's not good.
Yeah.
No, you got to play him.
You think so? He didn't do any, Bobby. He didn't do anything. I had Scary Terry when Wentz was there, and then I traded him right as they made the switch, and he didn't do dick with Wentz as his quarterback. Then he gets him and Heineke. Heineke's throwing him balls like you put a Heineken in a koozie cup. I mean, that's how much he was doing.
You do realize that we gave up a touchdown to a receiver who was not even looking at the ball.
No, that's true. That is true.
Like, if you think back to the Bengals game, Jamar Chase literally caught a touchdown that Joe Burrow just threw into his hand. And he was like, oh, I have
it's here.
Yeah, it's here.
Bobby,
in
Carson Wentz.
Double coverage.
I was going to say, wasn't that double coverage?
Hey, that's the difference. Carson Wentz, that ball's picked off, baby. Don't ever compare Carson Wentz and my guy Joey Burrow, because they'll never be the same.
Well, I'm just saying, when you have these kind of mental mistakes happening, if there's a star receiver on the other side, you got to play him.
Yeah,
got to. Although Denzel has been playing better lately,
He has, but that's the thing though. It's Carson.
Yeah.
Carson's not reading fast enough, and when he gets in a rush, he doesn't move. So if you put a little rush on him, that's all it really takes to keep this guy from getting to the elite receiver.
Yeah, Miles is going to touch him up at least once.
I think once or twice for sure.
Yeah, but again, if he gets this much space to get one off, McLaurin will be wide open. He'll be wide open. I can guarantee you're going to
Wentz
see
will
about
miss
4
him
or
by
5
a mile
plays.
like Wentz will miss him like the kid from Ohio State missed that kick last night. That's how bad Carson Wentz is.
Oh man, don't hate on that kid. That poor kid was put in a horrible situation, man. But that's the one
horrible
scary
situation,
thing about
Johnny.
Wentz.
He was supposed to do his job. That's not a horrible situation. The team let him down. You got one job, make the kick, and it wasn't even like why just like Scott Norwood, wasn't even close. It was like. The video game's on All Pro Madden, and you can't even get the stick to go back to the right.
These are college kids, man. These are
See,
college
the
kids,
the mistake he made is the center didn't snap the ball. The center's supposed to snap the ball and let him get that practice kick off when they call timeout.
When they call timeout,
yeah. What happened in the Michigan game? Remember the guy, the kicker from Michigan, his career long was like 51 yards, and they put him out there for I think 57,
59.
Or at 59, yeah. And he shanked the first one, but then he
nailed the second one.
Exactly, right down the middle.
Yep.
And that's where Ohio State went wrong.
Oh man. All right, Bobby.
That
so
was crazy.
you got the wait, you just say you got the Browns winning, right?
Yep, I got us winning 23-20.
Okay.
It will probably come down to Cade York. I think Deshaun's first multi-touchdown game with 2. We get some field goals in there. The defense doesn't play embarrassing. They just play bad. And we pull it out at the last second.
I like it. I'll stick with Cleveland. I'll stick with Cleveland winning this game as long as Wentz is in. So, yeah. So
21-17. I'm going with Cleveland too. I think Cleveland wins this game.
Remember, I don't think Wentz finished. I don't even think Wentz makes it to halftime. I think he turns.
He may
it over.
not.
I hope it's a blowout. Let's go, Browns.
So love. All right, Bobby.
Over 2 to 3 times in the first half and to get him up out of there.
There you go. All right, Bobby. We'll let you go, man. Appreciate you.
Happy New Year, man. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Bobby.
Thank you guys. Peace.
See you, man. Bobby G, everybody. Yeah. All right, let's bring on our final guest here, Rob Logan of Logan Sports and the Nova Nation podcast. What's up, dude?
What's going on, guys?
Nada. So, you made the playoffs. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's big.
Rob,
that's big.
I was gonna ask you, how do you feel about making the playoffs? Because I really felt like if you didn't make the playoffs, Sean Payton's probably your head coach next year. And now, now that you're in, it might be harder to fire old Staley.
That's exactly.
Yep.
I still think there's a possibility if they lose the first game and get blown out the first game, that there's a possibility that they would maybe make a switch. But I agree. I was kind of like, it's like you kind of want them to get into the playoffs, but then you kind of don't because of the coach situation. But, stranger things have happened in the NFL. Obviously, you see over the years, some teams get hot, some teams kind of win games that they shouldn't in the playoffs and get a little bit of momentum. So who knows? This could be something, and we'll see.
That's why I'm laughing so much. Rob and I have been talking about this coach all season, and that's all we've been talking about is that they need to get rid of him. And of course, they go on a nice little streak here, make the playoffs. But I think I agree with you, Rob. I think if you guys are one and done and get blown out, I think there's still a chance. It's horrible to say, like you want the man out.
Remember, Chargers fired Marty after 14 and 2.
14 and 2.
It's not against the Chargers thing to do.
No, and you know what too is that the wins, they're getting healthy, which is a big thing for the Chargers. I mean, it really was hard to really analyze them because they had so many injuries and so many weird things going on. And now, as you see, players are starting to come back, especially on the offensive side. Players are starting to come back. Herbert looks a lot more comfortable in the pocket. And that's a big thing. That kind of takes away a lot of the coaching errors that could possibly happen during a game, is when you have your playmakers out there making up for maybe some bad calls and some bad decisions.
Yeah.
If I'm Jackson, or if I'm the Chargers, I want to climb into that fourth spot, Rob, and play Jacksonville, try to leapfrog Baltimore, because I don't think you want any business playing the Chiefs another time, Cincinnati or Buffalo that first round. But if you played the Jacksonville in that first round, I would think you'd probably be favored to win that game, and I would probably pick you to win.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. These, it's funny, you want to relax a little bit today with them playing the Rams, and you kind of want to be like, okay, it's the Rams. But then you're also like, well, you got to kind of pay attention to it, because they definitely do need to win this game and win out. So, to see where things end, especially with the seedings, that's a big deal. We definitely, trust me, I've been saying it all year. I don't think anybody wants to go to Buffalo or Kansas City, in the playoffs. Those are going to be two tough outs,
Well, I can tell you, I don't want to face the Chargers again. So
I was
going to say that.
I
don't want to do
Justin
it.
Justin Herbert is going to scare all of those defenses there, because if he gets hot, he can pull a Joe Burrow from last year.
If he gets Allen completely healthy again, and Mike Williams, they stay healthy, like that. That offense is back to its elite level essentially.
And Tanner, what's even more important to me, I think their offensive line is getting healthier.
Yes.
Because Lindsey looks like he's definitely back. There's even rumors about Slater even possibly trying to get back by the end of the season.
Man.
So if you get those guys back, that could definitely be a lot of a difference, from what you've seen these Chargers play, 4 weeks ago even.
See, that's the thing. Like, we saw the Chargers earlier in the season. They looked really good. Injuries happened, and now we're seeing them starting to come back on the right trend for a playoff push, obviously, with getting that playoff clinch already. So it's a team you don't want to play, is what I'm going to state it as.
But how fun it's going to be fun in the AFC side. I mean, because you look at that matchup, the first round, if the season ended today, they would play the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Mahomes and Herbert are, depending on how things shake out, we could get Mahomes and, our Herbert and Burrow, Herbert and Allen, like those, like one of these great young quarterbacks is going to be out possibly the first round, unless since the Chargers can bounce up into that 5 spot, which could be possible if Pittsburgh handles business today against the Ravens without Lamar. And then, like you said, the Chargers should be able to beat the third string Rams.
You would think. You would hope.
Well, here's the thing, though.
He has no faith in his coach, bro. He has no faith in his coach.
You can't overlook this Rams team.
Right. No, and listen, I think it was Nick who said this way back in the beginning of the season, and he made a comment. He said, the Chargers will be the Chargers, and they'll do a
Chargers going to Charger. Yeah. Chargers going to Charger.
That's always in the back of every single Chargers fan, is that, something definitely could happen. So, that's why I don't like to say too much. I think they need to be prepared. They need to take this game seriously, and, they need to put their foot down, get out early, make it a blowout, and then, do what you want to do in the, end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, whatever. That's what they really, truly need to do for this week.
And it's kind of bad timing, too, to face this Rams team, because you have Baker playing actually a pretty good ball there and trying to fight for a job next year, essentially, for some other team. Cam Akers fighting to stay on the Rams, essentially, and he's playing really good ball lately. And some of the defensive guys, the young defensive guys, have stepped up, too. And, like, this Rams team is actually looking good at the wrong time. Obviously, they're not healthy or anything, but for what they're doing, like, this is a bad time to face the Rams, is what I'm going to say, especially as the Chargers. Like, a struggle against the run, right? Cam Akers ran all over the Broncos last week, so obviously, if you look at it that way, he should be able to run against the Chargers, And I don't know. I just think it's definitely a game to not overlook today at all.
And Derwin James is not playing today.
Yeah,
that's a big deal on the defensive side. But you do have possibly Bosa getting some reps in today. So that could also be good to see where he's going to be at for the rest of the season going into the playoffs. So
getting Bosa back is pretty huge for that defense.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This to me, I understand the Rams are playing. This is one of those games where, all right, Staley, Justin Herbert, like this is a team you're supposed to be at home. Even though you clinched a spot, you have an opportunity, like you were saying, Nick, to move up to the 5 spot. Like you have to win this game and do it convincingly, and let the other AFC teams know, hey, watch out for this Charger team coming into the playoffs. I expect the Chargers to play well today, honestly.
Johnny, that means the Chargers are going to lose by about 14 today with everything you just said.
Thanks, Johnny.
Well, my bad if I did that, man. My bad. Bro, I'm in the same boat, man. Same old Dolphins doing the same old Dolphin stuff. 8-3, now we're 8-7. I mean, it is what it is, but I like your guys are getting healthy at the right time. Everybody on our team's hurt and falling out. Nobody's playing today, and you guys are getting healthy. Buffalo's getting healthy, so that's the scary matchup. I could see an AFC, an AFC championship game where Justin Herbert has to go into Buffalo to go against Josh Allen. That would be a lot of fun.
You say an AFC championship game?
Yeah,
Johnny, bro, what are you doing over there?
City every year, bro.
Johnny, where's that hat at?
Bro, I'll get to that. I'm gonna get it. And I always pay my debt, so I'm gonna get it.
That hat will look real good in the AFC Championship game.
I'll definitely have it before then. But there's been some stuff going on, so I haven't been able to get that. But I will. You're saying I honor my bets and pay my debt, so I will get that fly Charger hat that I've been talking about for a couple weeks.
You're gonna have to get it sooner than later.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, you guys. I know the whole Charger gonna Charger, but like I said, they're getting healthy at the right time.
No, they are.
I like their chances to make it a nice little. Like I said, nobody thought Cincinnati was gonna do what they did. You know what I'm saying? So as long as the coach doesn't ruin it for you, Rob, I think you guys are going to be competitive going into this playoff. I think it's going to be a fun playoffs. I'm looking forward to all these matchups. It's going to be fun.
Well,
I'm hoping our team is part of it, but whatever.
Here's the other way to look at it too, is that if the Chargers are completely healthy and they're playing good, and Staley does do something that's off the wall, stupid, it'll stand out a lot more to hopefully be like, okay,
especially once
this guy's got to go.
Especially if it's on prime time. Like if it's in the playoffs, prime time spot, everybody's watching it, and it's 4th and 30 on his own 20s. Like, you got to go for it, guys. Let's go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And they don't do it. Everyone's like, what the hell is he thinking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it'll get real loud. It'll get real loud.
Yeah, it'd be real quick. So, I mean, that could happen too. So who knows? I mean,
how do you feel if they make a nice run and actually go to the AFC title game, but lose in a dramatic game to Kansas City, Buffalo, whatever, but he actually does a good job these next few weeks? Do you change your whole thought process? Like, okay, maybe we give him another year. I mean, I know how you felt all year. I'm sorry. That's why I'm laughing, because I know you wanted him gone.
Rob is thinking hard about it.
But if you go on a nice little run here, and you can tell that he game planned well and stuff like that, and it wasn't just Justin Herbert just went nuts.
Right.
And,
if the players just flat out win the games, and Herbert throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and everything.
Right. If they win despite the coach.
Right. And if he does not get in the way of his players, because he definitely has good enough players to just let them go out there and play and do their thing. If he does that and he just doesn't try to interject himself into a game and try to, make it his game or whatever, then I would possibly say, okay, maybe this guy's finally learning. Maybe there's something there, and let's see. Like, I wouldn't be that drawn to fire him right away. But if he does do what he has done in the past, and that continues forward, then that's an easy. If they make it to the championship game and they're still doing stupid stuff from a coaching standpoint, then I still say he's got to go.
Right. I got you.
You can't do stuff like that. You can't.
Right. Hopefully he focuses on the defense and coming up with defensive game plans and just lets the offense do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, don't make a stupid go for 4th and 5 at your own 35 in the second quarter. You know what I'm saying? Don't do none of those. I think you guys. I don't know.
Yeah. What's your prediction, Rob, today?
Well, my prediction is, the Rams are technically playing at home too, and I'm not a big fan of and I don't. I'm on the East Coast, obviously, so I don't get to go to games over in LA, but there always seems to be a lot less Charger fans in attendance at home games. It seems like they always have the other team has a home field advantage almost when they go and play. So this game is going to be even more like that, I think, with them playing the Rams. So I hope that, the energy of the building doesn't carry the Rams to play kind of a little bit at a higher level than maybe what they would have played because they're playing against the Chargers, the other LA team. So as long as that doesn't happen, I think this is a good win for the Chargers. I think it's, a 21 or 24 type 10 type game where, the Chargers get out. They get out quick. Hopefully they get out quick, and maybe by the fourth quarter we see, Chase Daniel in there handing off the ball a couple times, and that could be the end of the game.
All right. Yeah, that'll be kind of interesting to see what happens today.
I got your Chargers too, man. I'm thinking 27-17, something like that. I think it'll be a comfortable win, bro. I think you'll be happy with your team tonight. You'll be happy tonight.
I just listen. The thing is now that everybody's coming back, everybody's kind of going in a different direction now, and it's kind of moving forward. You just don't want to see anybody get re-hurt or hurt again or something happen. So really, this is one of those games where you want to get the win. You want to do what you need to do, but play it safe and
get everybody out of there healthy.
Yeah. And move forward to the last week. And then the last week, hopefully by next week, hopefully things will be a lot more clearer and you'll really be able to see, okay, really, do I have a chance at that 5th seed? Or, what, the best I'm going to do is 7th. So, maybe I rest Herbert the second half of the, of next week or whatever. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So,
right.
Hopefully that's how things go. I'm hoping that way. So, right now I'm all hopped up right now on Mountain Dew and Dayquil. So my day can go. I got a 50-50 chance of either like going into like a deep sleep coma or chasing the dogs around the house for the next couple hours. So I don't know which way we're gonna go. Hopefully everything goes well and it's an enjoyable afternoon for me.
All right, Rob, we'll let you go. Appreciate you coming on, dude.
Hey,
have a good one, buddy.
Hey, Happy New Year, guys.
I'll see you tonight, man. Happy New Year, bud.
All right, take care, guys. See you. Thank you. Right, see you, Johnny.
All right, buddy.
All right, we got one last guest here. Italy Jet came on here. Obviously, we talked about the Jet Seahawks a little earlier with Bo. I don't know. How you feeling, Italy Jet? Mike White's in, so you got to feel better, right?
Yeah, and I mean we're not too banged up, not as bad as Johnny. So it's gonna be. I mean it's gonna be. I'm expecting a win, but the Jets always like to make it tight. So got White back. I mean the offensive line. I'm worried about that, but also you got Tyreek Woolen and Sauce Gardner going at it for Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's gonna be a cool matchup to see what happens with that. And Garrett Wilson just needs 4 more yards to get 1,000 yards. So I'm excited.
Okay.
Should be fun. Should be a fun game, man.
I think so too. I think this will be a good
this whole
game
day.
to watch.
There's a lot of good matchups today. A lot of fun football. A lot of meaningful games. Like I mentioned it earlier in the week. Like as far as football fans, I mean, it doesn't. There's so many teams that still have opportunities. Right. And, in the beginning of the year or the ending of December. I mean, that's. As a fan, that's what you want is for your team to be playing many meaningful games in December and January. And there's a lot of teams that, there's a lot of stuff that's still undecided. So, yeah, that clicker is going to be going back and forth to a bunch of games today, boy.
Tell me about it.
Jet, how do you feel about? They've said that they're going to keep Zach around. They're bringing him back for year 3, but to me, the poor kid has lost not the locker room. Everybody in New York hates him. I don't know if it was he just out there sleeping with everybody's moms or like what's the deal there? Like, I mean, you guys absolutely hate this kid.
I'm not a part of the fan base that completely hates him. So you're gonna have your Flacco fans, which is a small amount. Flacco fans, Wilson fans, another small amount again. Then you're gonna have your big Mike White fans, and you have your Strebler fans, right? For me, I am always in the middle of like, I still think Zach Wilson can be a player in this league, but someone else. If he totally just turns it around in year 3, okay. But I still think you still need that 3rd year, and I think that they rushed the process because New York wants a quarterback now because we have been screwed and haven't had a good quarterback in a very long time. So I get it, but at the same time, I still think you still need that year 3. I'm not a fan of Zach Wilson. Geno Smith was my guy. So now we're facing against him. I never liked Sam Darnold. So it's going to be very interesting next year. I hope we sign Mike White to a 3-year contract. I hope we get another veteran in there, like a Gardner Minshew. I know people keep talking about Carr. I know people can throw out Rodgers and Brady. It's not happening. Garoppolo and then Brissett. I don't really want Garoppolo because he's injury prone. I don't really trust that, but I wouldn't mind bringing in a Gardner Minshew.
Hey, mustache mania, baby. That's what I look at.
Hey, Tanner, man, you got to get rid of the. You got your porn site up on the camera, bro. You need to move El Gato out of there, bro. You got the El Gato up there, bro.
El Gato. Let's see here. Am I back?
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's even more funny.
It's my camera, guys. Calm down now.
El Gato's your camera guy for your pornos, huh?
You got it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Otto.
Nah. Johnny Cruz is involved somehow on the side. He's like a silent partner. He's a silent partner.
He won't tell you.
Whatever. I'll take the money right now, bro. For real.
Jay, outside of the quarterback, let's just say you guys missed the playoffs. I know if you win today, that it goes, you still got a chance for next week. But if you miss the playoffs, other than the quarterback situation, what does this team need next year? Because that defense seems ready to go. But what else does this team need going forward for next year?
Well, we got a tough schedule next year, which is going to be very interesting. We face against, the Cowboys, that division, and we face against the Chiefs division as well. So it's going to be very tough, but we got a lot of stuff we got to fix because we have a lot of one-year deals. We have a lot of people coming at the end of their contracts. We still got to pay Quinnen. We still got to pay his brother too. Guys, see what we're doing at the linebacker position. We got to reconstruct the O-line. It's just going to be very interesting overall, but I have faith in JD. Can't believe I'm saying this, but thank you, Gase, for bringing in JD, even though I hated him so much. But overall, JD, I believe in what he's doing. I believe in the foundation he's bringing in. I do believe in Saleh, even though sometimes he drives me crazy with his managing of the game with timeouts and stuff. But overall, I still love him. But overall, we just got to fix some things, and we'll be great. I still think this is a head in the right direction. It's not the same old Jets. And like for Johnny, it's not the same old Dolphins. These are teams that are going to be up and coming. Patriots are going to go down. I just really do strongly believe that. And the Bills, they only have like 2 or 3 more years. They got to get a Super Bowl, and they got to start paying a lot of people. Right. So I still think the Patriots are there. I'm sorry, not Patriots. I still think the Jets are there, and I still think if we just fix a few things in the draft and in free agency, we will be just fine.
Yeah, I've been saying it for years that that's the best thing Adam Gase did for your franchise was Joe Douglas.
Amen.
I'm a big fan of his. He's a very, very good executive, very good general manager. I love the pieces that are there. I agree with you on that. I don't know about paying Mike White. I mean, you gotta stick with Zach. I like the Gardner Minshew. I like something like that. Somebody you can bring in to compete with Zach as opposed to spending money on a Garoppolo or something like that. I don't think they go that route. because you do have such a young team that you can kind of build together, as opposed to just bringing in that grizzled veteran quarterback that you think is just going to take you over the top. That doesn't always work. You know what I'm saying? And the Jets tried that, you know what I'm saying, with Brett Favre, and it didn't work out for them, you know what I'm saying, then either. So I don't know, man. Like I still have hope that Zach Wilson can turn into a good player. I don't know if mentally he's going to be able to deal now with everything that's been going on, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, man. I don't think you should trade for some crazy, you know what I'm saying, like a Gardner Minshew, somebody like that, somebody to compete is the way I think you should go.
It would be outrageous if someone offered us a lot or a little bit to give us for Zach Wilson. I don't think it's going to happen. I still think he still needs time, but I kind of disagree with you. I really do want Mike White back. The fans love him, locker rooms love him. If he wins these next 2 games and we get in the playoffs, that's going to change some things for our organization to evaluate him. And also, I would love to keep Strebler too, but I would love to bring in
what kind of a contract you giving Mike White though? Be real.
I'll give him a 2 or 3 year deal.
I wouldn't. 3 years is too much.
Like Joe Douglas has been doing with all
20. You're gonna give him 20 plus?
I mean,
you might have to, bro.
I understand that, but knowing Joe, he's gonna try and. He's gonna try and get like that 10
He's
million.
Gonna try to negotiate.
Yeah, like an Alexander deal. Like I still don't know how the hell we got Alexander for that much. And also with Dwayne Brown, how we got him for that much too. Like it's mind-boggling. But yeah, it would have to be somewhere between 10 to 20 million, because now we have to see what we're doing with Q too. But also
you gotta pay him, bro.
Give him anything. Give him a name on a plaque give
him some
Manhattan.
Stock in the Jets,
I don't care.
bro.
Give a restaurant. I don't care. But the thing is, well, I was going to answer. I forgot to answer Botkin's question about, what does this mean missing the playoffs this year if they do? Honestly, I think it's a little bit of a wasted season. I'm going to be honest, because this team, if we would have had Mike White earlier, if we would have had no injuries with the stuff that we dealing with, especially the big guys going out, I think we would have only lost like maybe 5 games. We have been neck and neck with every team. But we're the Jets. We found a way to lose, but we were neck and neck from between the 5 and 7 season.
Look at the expectations walking in after last year, right?
Oh,
the
expectations
weren't as high, but it's a promise of showing, hey, Solid's got this going in the right direction, right? You got good gun talent.
I agree with that.
I think the draft picks were successful. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Like, I agree with that. But
there's a lot to build off of. But I feel you, because Dolphin fans are feeling the same exact way.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like Tyreek Hill. It's like
they made the Bradley Chubb trade.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But like I'm gonna tell you the same thing I've been telling Dolphin fans. As much of a disappointment as 2022 may turn out to be, it wasn't all about just this year. It was about giving the team an opportunity over the next couple years, because Tyreek's here for 4 years. You still got Waddle. Bradley Chubb is young. So it was all about making sure that Tua, now this whole, the whole Tua question is up in the air, but it wasn't strictly about 2022. It was about opening a window for 3 or 4 years to try to make a run. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? And especially with you guys being so many young pieces there.
And I agree with
that. Like I said.
I just want consistency.
I wouldn't.
Yes.
To me, I would say this is the most successful Jets season since what they had Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall and them boys. Like,
I agree,
because this so to say it's a wasteful year, I wouldn't say that. I think it's because you improved so much. You guys are supposed to be one of the bottom feeders, maybe top worst 5 teams in the league, possibly.
More of an opportunity loss.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe opportunity loss.
Than a wasted
because
season.
Of the way the season started.
A little bit of a wasted season.
Yeah. You know what I mean? The way the season started, you guys were playing really well. And then this last month, it's been a struggle.
Right. And
it could be because Mike White got hurt. I mean, I wouldn't say like that was to me the end when he, 2 broke ribs or whatever, and still has cracked ribs.
Goldberg, but also with Breece Hall and Vera Tucker going out, that was huge too.
That hurt.
That was our offense. Sure. And also when Q was injured that 1 week too, that you could tell with Joyner that we were missing something. And that's where I was like, when we had, like in my mind, we still have some of the best depth like behind our starters, but that was their time to show it when the big guys were injured. And if some of it failed, so you could tell sometimes we just needed those big guys.
I would say too, this season helps out for free agency going to
Oh,
play
yeah.
because now guys aren't going
Want
to
to
be
come to
scared
New
to
York,
not go
maybe.
there.
Maybe
Yeah,
they want to come to New
yeah.
York
There's
now.
a chance now that hey, you
Yeah.
might land a decent big name or something like that, and get somebody there. So
Exactly.
I like I said, it's not all bad there. Obviously, over expectations leading into the season. Looked good. Yeah, a lot of promise there for the draft pick. So not an awful thing. Garrett Wilson looks really good. That's what you really wanted to see, honestly.
Right.
Agreed.
I think you hit on all four of your, you know what I'm saying? Garrett, Sauce, Reese, and then JJ. I mean, all four of those kids are going to be good players, man. So, I mean, like I said, the future's bright for the Jets. Like I said, I agree with you about the division, too. Buffalo's got a couple years. They better get that ring.
They better get it
quick.
quick.
New England, you know what I'm saying? That Mac Jones thing, they feeling it now. So you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a fun division. It's gonna be a fun division for these next few years, man, for real.
It's gonna be dope. I'm really looking forward to it. But my score prediction for today,
yeah,
I know the Jets are, we always keep it close. So, but I still think we're gonna win. It's gonna be tough playing in Seattle. I think it's 27-20. 27-20. We'll get a touchdown in the red zone of CJ Uzama, or if Seattle wins, I think Geno Smith's going to put in the red zone with DK Metcalf for a touchdown. They win by a touchdown. I'm going both.
Hey, let's go Kenneth Walker for 900 yards today and like 900 touchdowns and win me my fantasy championship, baby.
Okay, Tanner, I thought I liked you, but I guess not.
Look, and then I need Garrett Wilson on the other side to do stuff too.
Okay,
so,
now we're good. Now we're good.
I got Wilson over Judy, I think today is what I'm going to go with.
Oh yeah, you should. That's no brainer.
So, I'm going to stick with it. Not touching it.
But guys, Happy New Year. Hope you guys have a great day.
Happy New Year, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy the games, bro.
Tanner, Johnny, good to see you.
Yep. I'll holler at you
see you, man.
I'll holler at you before next week's game, bro.
For sure. All right.
All right.
All
right, guys. Let's end the show here. We got little bets to go in. I got to go check a couple rosters and make sure we are set.
I gotta mention something if I can before we get up out of here.
Of course.
I got a family thing that's going on right now. We rescued a 4-year-old greyhound about a year ago. He got hit by a car early Thursday morning, and he thankfully, I'm grateful, no internal issues, nothing of that effect, nothing life threatening. But he did break his leg. And he's gonna need surgery to save the leg. So I'm trying to do everything I can possible to get some money together before tomorrow morning at 7:30. I've done everything I can to put as much money as I possibly can together, and I have been, asking for a little help. I'll tweet out the Cash App, and I actually created a Venmo. I guess that's another, I don't know technology like that. So I got a Venmo thing made up for Hercules, but if you every dollar will help. So if anybody there can help out a little bit, I would greatly appreciate it. The family would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we rescued him, but he has definitely rescued my family. I love him to death, and he, if I can help save his leg, I really want to do that for him. So if anybody out there can help out in any kind of way, like I said, every dollar helps. So I appreciate it. I know it's a new year and it's it's hard and a struggle for everybody, but every dollar counts. So I appreciate it. Anything will be greatly appreciated if you can. So I just wanted to say that before we close it out, man.
Yeah, I was trying to find your handle for some reason. It's not popping up.
At Yankee Fan is the handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Yankee Fan is the Twitter handle. JCruz304 is the Cash App thing. Like I said, I'll tweet it out, and the Venmo is like JC Hercules. The name of his name is Hercules. Like I said, I got his picture out there. I'll retweet it and stuff like that. Shout out to Dan. Dan's been critical in my mental these last several days since this happened. So shout out to Dan. Thank you for everything, bud. You know what I'm saying? And you keep super producing behind the scenes for us. We appreciate it.
Oh, he's still killing it. Yeah,
he is, bro. Yeah, he is. We can't wait to talk to you, bro. But keep on doing what you're doing. And like I said, I'll tweet out that information there. And like I said, anything will be greatly appreciated. Like I said, if I could save the kid's leg, I would love to save his leg.
Johnny's 2023 starts off as a country song. His dog needs surgery. His quarterback might be dead. So help the kid out, will you?
Oh man!
Wow. Well, let's hope Tua's okay too.
There you guys go, right there on the screen.
There's my little man right there.
Yep.
I love him to death. He is the sweetest. He is I wasn't a big. Like, I didn't grow up with animals. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather had Dobermans when I was little. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents raised me, but when he passed when I was 9, we didn't really have any animals. My wife has always had animals in her life. So she was without an animal for a little over a year, and it was just like I knew it was eating at her. And I wanted to get her a greyhound. I wanted to rescue a greyhound, and he was the perfect match, for her, for this family. And he's the other kid that I never expected to have. And yeah, he wanted to go out he pulled 2 o'clock in the morning, wanted to go use the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. I took him out there. Little did I know that he had been running across the street to go do stuff over there. I didn't even realize he had been doing that. And then on his way back, he got clipped by a car. So like I said, I'm grateful that no internal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's still with us. I'm grateful that he's still with us. But if I could save this kid's leg, I would love to save his leg, man. So like I said, anything you could do would be greatly appreciated.
Yep. Follow us, guys. We'll retweet it, of course, once Johnny throws out that Venmo as well. So
absolutely appreciate it, people.
All right, guys. Everybody have a fabulous Sunday. We'll catch you next week. See you guys.
Happy New Year, people.
See ya.
All right.